Christie's failed suicide mission begins. All that and more now on Graf's Grievances. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie launching a second bid for the White House and taking direct aim at the Republican frontrunner, former President Donald Trump. Christie saying Trump is a, quote, bitter, angry man, obsessed with the mirror, who never admits a mistake and failed the American people. The former federal prosecutor also laying into Trump's family, pointing out the ways they profited off the presidency. Christie saying, quote, the grift from this family is breathtaking. Jared Kushner and Ivanka Kushner walked out of the White House and months later got $2 billion from the Saudis. That's your money he stole. And Christie is largely correct. According to the New York Times, 6 months after leaving the White House, Jared Kushner secured a $2 billion investment from a fund led by the Saudi Crown Prince, despite objections from the fund's advisors. Of course, Christie has a history of going after the Kushners. As a U.S. attorney, he prosecuted Jared Kushner's father, Charles, for tax evasion and wiretapping, in what Christie describes as, quote, one of the most lonesome, disgusting crimes I have ever prosecuted. Charles Kushner pleading guilty to 18 counts and serving 14 months of a 2-year sentence in federal prison. The Take No Prisoners Christie also criticizing other Republicans in the race for failing to more directly attack Trump. The 60-year-old telling voters that Trump is a loser who was defeated by President Biden and is entirely unfit to return to the White House after inciting the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. And I can hear the cheers from liberals now. Finally, a Republican calling out Trump for his criminality, fraud, and endless lies. But that's Christie's problem, you see. He is not campaigning to be the next host on MSNBC. He is supposedly campaigning to be the Republican presidential nominee. And even if Trump's support among Republicans is waning, which is far from clear, Republicans hate, and I mean hate, Chris Christie. His net favorability rating among Republicans in the latest Monmouth University poll was negative 26 points. In addition, Christie has not exceeded 3% in a single national or state poll so far this year. So what is Christie really doing? In addition to desperately trying to stay relevant so he can secure the next book deal and TV contract, perhaps Christie is running to be a sacrificial lamb. Christie dedicating all his energy to taking out Trump, thereby allowing someone else to rise and win the nomination who has less of Trump's blood on their hands. But here's the problem with that strategy. In order for Republicans to hear Christie's criticism of Trump, he really needs to get on the debate stage with the former president. And at this point, that looks very unlikely to happen. To qualify for the first Republican primary debate in August, a candidate must have at least 1% support in 3 national polls, or at least 1% support in 2 national polls and 1 early voting state poll. Plus, a candidate must have contributions from at least 40,000 people, with at least 200 contributors from 20 states. And even if Christie is able to meet these lofty requirements, there is always the possibility that Trump chooses not to debate at all. But with all that being said, anything can happen, and Christie is a man who has nothing to lose. As the acclaimed writer James Baldwin once remarked, quote, "The most dangerous creation of any society is a man who has nothing to lose." Thanks for watching Graf's Grievances. Let me know what you think, and please subscribe.